Here we go for another round. This presentation on collection development will provide an overview of important elements to consider. Collection development in the school library focuses on selecting books and other materials that support the curriculum of the school. The materials should offer a wide variety of formats and should address the needs and interests of the students. And a governing board approved selection policy should be in place that includes the selection criteria. It's important to note that in this process, books are not necessarily excluded on the basis of moral, racial, religious, or political bias, but they are selected based on critical evaluation and their appropriateness to the interests and needs of the students. Acquisition refers to an established process for the purchase of materials. Cataloging refers to assigning subject headings and call numbers to materials that will make them accessible to students and will provide information for the catalog and circulation database. The processing of materials includes identification stamping, adding spine labels, barcoding the materials, and adding barcode protectors, adding security materials, and Mylar covers. Maintenance of the collection includes book repair, rebinding when called for, and weeding or removing outdated or damaged items. The collection is a physical entity that includes a variety of resources within the physical boundaries of the library. The collection also includes community resources, those materials available from groups or institutions within the community. Human resources can be considered part of the collection when it comes to researching various topics. This would include people who are experts in a selected field and who can provide information for students. Other resources can be shared by way of interlibrary loan and online resources. Available resources should also include subscription online databases, websites, ebooks, and digital resources. A governing board approved collection development policy should be in place. This document establishes a guide for staff in selecting materials for the school library. It also informs the public about the principles upon which selections are made. A typical selection policy calls for books and other library materials to be selected on the basis of literary, educational, informational, and recreational value. The responsibility of selection is identified in the policy and typically is directed by a credentialed teacher librarian. Books are selected within the limitations of the budget as well as on the basis of positive reviews by literary experts. Suggestions from students and staff are also encouraged. The policy also must include a clearly defined process for dealing with materials challenges. The challenge process should include both an informal as well as formal process for the challenges. The school library collection is an essential part of the instructional program because it's a reflection of the taught curriculum as well as the interests of students and staff. Materials that support the information and research needs of the students need to be front and center, as well as materials that enhance instruction in a collaborative setting. When a teacher librarian is part of the picture, the classroom teachers and teacher librarian develop and co-teach units of study that support the curriculum and that weave information literacy skills into student learning. Library materials should be available to support a variety of student groupings in a wide range of formats, reading levels, and interest levels. The typical school library collection contains materials in a variety of formats, including tactile, print, visual, electronic, and auditory. What types of materials can you name in each of these categories? Here, you can see the variety of materials that might be included in a school library collection. Can you think of anything else? As your text points out in Chapter 3, collection development involves activities that are interdependent and that continuously interact. This includes identifying the needs and interests of students and staff, keeping an open ear to requests and interests, and monitoring circulation to see what areas of the collection are heavily used are two ways tabs can be kept on what is popular. I keep a box on the circulation desk for students to submit recommendations of books they would like to see added to the collection. The designated selector also needs to understand the library mission and the school curriculum. Supporting the curriculum is the main goal of the school library, and knowing what is taught in each grade is critical to collection development. A focus on supporting the curriculum is the major difference between school libraries and public libraries. Public libraries exist to address the needs of an entire community, exist as the people's university, while the school library provides resources to enhance and support the curriculum of the school. Weeding materials that no longer belong in the collection is critical to honing a healthy collection. When materials are superseded, outdated, no longer circulating, are damaged or dirty, they need to be removed from the collection to make room for more current materials. Finally, there are amazing tools and options for selecting the best materials to meet the needs and gaps in the collection. You will become familiar with these tools as we continue. The collection needs to respond to the demographics of the student population and provide materials in a variety of formats for students who speak another language, who are reading below or above grade level, who are reluctant or voracious readers, materials that address the learning styles of students, and materials that are engaging and attractive. Materials are provided in a variety of formats to address a variety of learning styles and can include both print and non-print. A quality school library also provides a network for online access to subscribed databases and other online resources. Selection is a process that involves knowledge of a subject and the literature surrounding it. It requires familiarity not only with the curriculum, but with the collection itself and with the established tools for selecting. Requests from students and teachers should be integrated into a selection plan. As has been pointed out, the person typically assigned to selection would be a credentialed teacher librarian. But in the real world, especially here in California, where library staffing continues to be a challenge, it is more likely that a library technician or other paraprofessional will be the one who chooses new materials for the library. The library staff, whether it be a credentialed teacher librarian or library paraprofessional, is responsible for the overall collection development. That person supports the goals of acquisition, cataloging, processing of materials, and practices consistency in the selection and maintenance of the library materials. They consider recommendations from teachers, students, and staff, make decisions on rebinding, withdrawing, replacing, and adding gifts, evaluate the contents of the collection, and initiate any weeding projects as a result of collection evaluations. The selection criteria offer guidelines for selecting the best possible materials that address the specific needs of a school community. These criteria include the extent to which new materials expand on, supplement, and support the existing collection rather than duplicating it, the importance and relevance of the subject matter to the collection, the reputation of the publisher and the author, the cost, literary merit, accuracy, and demand. With the enormous volume of books that are published each year for children and youth, it's no easy task to make decisions about what to purchase with a limited budget in order to get the best bang for your buck. However, there are a variety of tools that will help with determining what is appropriate and valuable to your school library. Familiarity with the school's curriculum and knowing what's in the collection, these tools can assist in filling the gaps. As helpful as these tools are, it's always a huge benefit to see books in person. Visiting bookstores, attending Best Books workshops, and attending school library conferences are a few of the ways to preview books in person. Let's explore some of these selection tools. The core collection lists are produced by library associations, publishers, and vendors. These can be an important starting point for adding to a collection and are also important in developing what is known as an opening day collection for new libraries. Materials that are included in these lists are recommended. On D2L, you will find a document that lists some of these core collection lists. You'll also find a list in your text on pages 72 and 73. Because they are very expensive, typically, if they are purchased, they usually remain in a district library and can also be found in some public libraries. The cost usually prohibits them from being on individual school campuses. You will also find a link on the core collection document to WorldCat, an online resource that will show you where these books are available in your area. Pretty cool. Professional library magazines and journals, such as School Library Journal, Hornbook, Booklist, and others, offer critical reviews of most materials published within a calendar year. There's another document in the Class 3 folder that lists some of these magazines and journals. Subject bibliographies can be useful for specific areas of the collection, and be sure to consult lists of award-winning titles. A complete list of current year and past year award winners can be found at the links on the slide. Next, let's have a look at what a major library vendor offers its users. This is the website for Follett Library Resources, a library jobber. A jobber is a wholesaler, industry middlemen who supply books and other materials to stores and libraries from hundreds of publishers. It's a one-stop shop that offers many useful services in addition to providing the books. Services such as materials processing, cataloging, covering, and more. Their website TitleWave is a tool that you can use free of charge to search and often preview books, download teaching guides, access lists of recommended titles, compare professional reviews, create and store lists of books to consider and or order, and much more. I encourage you to sign up for a free account so you can use this tool in creating your collection development project as outlined on the syllabus. Once you've established an account and have signed in, here's what you will see. In the search box at the top of the page, you can type in the title of any book that you may be looking for, and it will bring up a page of results that includes all the available formats for the title. There is an advanced search that allows you to search by multiple criteria, search sets and series, audiovisual, and ebooks. The left-hand side of the screen highlights tools that are available from the site. You will also see Current List up at the top right-hand corner, which means I can look at a list I have created and stored on the site, or I can start a new list. I can view my account, my order history, and saved lists. So I'm going to enter the title of a book, Echo, by Pam Munoz Ryan. So here are the results for Echo. On the left, you see the available formats of the title, and in the center as I scroll down, I'll be able to access details of each type. You will see that there is a message that this title is on a saved list. That alerts me to check before ordering it again. If I click on the title, I will have access to complete bibliographic information about the book, as well as subject headings, similar titles, reading and interest levels, a teaching guide, and full text reviews from professional library journals. From the next page, I can click this title to a list I have created, and I can scroll down and access full text reviews. So here's the continuation of that page with the full text reviews. There are a total of 6 reviews, which allows me to see varying opinions of the book. The journals listed are all respected professional resources. Of course, if it were possible to review the book in person, it would be an additional perk. But even without a hands-on review, it's possible to make good selection decisions using the available tools. The selecting and purchasing of books and other library materials should be guided by a library purchasing plan as well as the library budget. The purchasing plan determines how the budget is divided up and distributed for purchasing a variety of materials. The plans should delineate what is set aside for nonfiction, fiction including ebooks and audiobooks, multimedia materials, and periodicals. Having such a purchasing plan helps to eliminate impulse buying and keeps the focus on building a relevant collection. Cataloging is the bibliographic and physical description of an item in the collection. This information is what appears in the automated library catalog for the item. An online catalog system will provide the basic information for most titles. When you order materials from a jobber, the MARC record for the item usually is available on your system. MARC, M-A-R-C, stands for Machine Readable Catalog Record. It's an electronic bibliographic record that holds pieces of information about the book in a standard format, so it is accessible to most automation systems. The MARC provides a shelf address or call number for the book and other information for the database. Weeding the library is as important as adding new materials to the collection. Just as a garden needs regular weeding to keep it healthy, so should a library collection be weeded in order to maintain its relevance. Removing materials that are unattractive, outdated, damaged, superseded, not circulated, or biased will assist in creating a healthy collection. Your text on pages 62 to 67 provides some excellent guidelines and tools for accomplishing this important job. So, why weed? Weeding keeps the collection responsive to the needs of students and makes room for newer materials. No need to purchase any new books if the shelves are full. Newer materials need space. Materials should be withdrawn if they are little used or superseded by a new edition or better work on the same subject. Depth and breadth of varying degrees are desirable in various areas of the collection. Consider the age and condition of a book. Remove outdated, mediocre, or poor quality materials, books on a topic that's in an inappropriate reading level, duplicate copies not being used, materials that are superseded by new materials, unattractive and outdated materials, and certainly damaged materials. When a book is returned, damaged, or in poor condition, it should be evaluated to decide if it should be repaired, replaced, or withdrawn. Books to consider for repair or rebinding might include titles that cannot be replaced or are too costly to replace, out-of-print books that are still of value to the collection, or one volume of a set which is still in good condition and important to the collection. Books that should not be considered for rebinding or extensive repair include books with yellow or brittle pages, books that are out of date, duplicates, books still in print, or books with pages missing. These books should simply be withdrawn from the collection. So, that's all for this chapter. Be sure to check your syllabus for readings and assignments to stay on top of this week. Also on D2L, there are a variety of documents posted on weeding and other issues that I think you are going to find very helpful. So, adios for now.